Hey,
Okay.
I don't even know whether this is working. Oh, can anyone hear me? Just wait.
Yeah.
Okay, I need to adjust something.
Hello.
Sorry.
Hi.
Julia,
Hi.
great to see you. Just wait. Let me adjust
What's up?
my
What's up?
audio. There it is. Is this working? Just wait. Okay. Hello?
Yes, I hear you.
Okay,
Can you hear me?
sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's really interesting. So I got these new Sony like wireless headset, which really good sound quality. But anytime I connect to my
Yes.
computer, it actually sets my volume to 0, which is weird.
Oh, okay.
But
You
anyway,
don't
it's
get
great.
delay on them?
No,
I was
actually, it's
okay,
actually
good.
It's actually Bluetooth 5, which is the newest standard. No, it has 0 lag. Actually, the one reason why I got this headset is it actually connects to 2 things at once. So I can connect
Okay.
this between the computer and a cell phone without having to change anything, which is incredible. But anyway, it's great to finally meet you. It's funny, like we did talk like a long time ago and I was at the shopping mall.
Feels like a long time ago, but it wasn't. And so much has happened. I know you guys are doing so many great things.
Well, I think
And you're very present on the on Instagram. It's great. It's great.
well, we're
So I
just very
always know what you guys
busy.
up to.
Oh, I know. It's just crazy. Like actually, this meeting is going to be relatively short because we have another meeting with an artist that's interested in showing. She's actually currently at Yale, first year
Oh, great.
painting program. But I want to give this short talk because we're going to do multiple talks. And
Okay.
Bryce is actually very
Hi,
excited.
Bryce.
So
Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you.
and he's one of the co-curators. Actually, Bryce will probably be writing the write-up for this because he's an art historian, but he's also taken classes in Baroque art and Dutch art. So he knows
Okay,
more.
wait, before you go on, are you guys writing those crazy press releases? They're really
Yeah.
impressive. I mean,
Yeah,
you guys writing them together? Bryce, you?
actually,
Yeah,
yeah,
we've teamed up on a few of them. I did the only one I've like done by myself so far is the one for Chun, the Doors and Windows show.
Yeah.
yeah, well,
No,
And
impressive.
then
Impressive write-ups.
yeah,
I can definitely feel that you guys have the writing bug more than other people maybe. So good job on that.
I love writing actually. I'm just only an art history minor.
I can tell.
So, but actually, I am taking I took some difficult courses in critical theory. So, and then next year I'm going to attempt to take a senior/grad level economics class, which it's going to be interesting during my last year. But I jokingly say if I'm going to claim to be a neo-Marxist, I better know what I'm actually talking about. So, and I know that's weird, but
Yeah, that's good.
but I actually
Oh, that's good.
want to thank you for doing this. We're very excited about doing your solo show, but also I think because of the pandemic, you're still going to be in Poland for quite some time, I assume, or
Yes, and actually, it's been things have been going really well. Surprisingly, being stuck in the middle of nowhere.
Actually,
I don't
we
know what
kind
it
of
is.
think we kind of congratulate you on your show. Honestly, it's beautiful.
Yes, it's a massive show, and I'm just about to send about 8 to 10 paintings to London. So I have separate work for that.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
About finished. Yes.
Please tell us about that so we can put it on the news. That's
I
one thing.
will.
That's one thing the artists don't, and we have a huge roster. We're adding aerial, so we're gonna have like 36. We're gonna cut off around 40, but we need enough variety for curating because we're just have a lot. We have some art fairs we're applying for. So
how is that going? I know last time I spoke to you, you were like,
we got rejected from our first one, but I think we learned a lot. So we learned that art fairs are not they're very commercial driven. So don't try to do a proposal about art that's not even made yet for an art fair. Like they don't want, except for satellite, which is the only exception. But generally, art fairs, they're less about the ideas you learn. So the curating is mostly about the strength in resume of the artist.
Yeah.
So, but
Nada didn't want like fabrication on site,
no, definitely
which
not.
is what
And
we were gonna do. And
So you want to have a big important roster of artists that have clout on around them. To be
actually, we want
more or less-
variety. So we
Okay.
want artists that are both unknown and both that have clout. Actually, we are moving very rapidly. One of our artists just got into the Whitney ISP. So yeah, so
Great.
we're throwing that for Nada Miami. I mean, I'm gonna have you at some point, but we're gonna wait a little bit because we're gonna try like really hard to get in because we got no
Yeah.
established history. Sorry, it's just
Of course.
I'm learning a lot, like probably
Yeah,
more
of
than I ever
course.
want, and it's just really awesome because Bryce is going to apply for a PhD in art history or curatorial studies. So, so we're very
Yeah.
excited. He's kind of nervous.
That's quite the application. Yeah, I know.
he-
I know. I just spoke to somebody about a
yeah.
PhDs in psychology, and it's just anything you apply for. It's such a massive grants, residencies. Everything is such a massive writing project. That's. I think a lot of artists get discouraged. I have a great coach. I think I've been really lucky to get those grants because I had a great coach at Columbia who kind of was just like, "Don't shy away, just
and
write,
Columbia
write,
is
write."
really
Yeah.
incredible too. I mean, I just saw like not just your career is explodingly awesome, although hopefully you'll come back to the States. We can hang out. I could
Yes, I
get.
will definitely.
I seriously,
definitely.
I love Polish food. To be honest, although I got to figure out which ones don't have pork, but that's always a fun
It's gonna
bit.
be hard. Which doesn't have bacon in it? Onion and bacon are basics.
Yeah, I know.
For
We're gonna have to
taste.
we're gonna get real creative, or that I have to like probably violate some rules in my religion. But I mean, I'll have to sneak some food. So
Yeah.
it's like kind of like, but I love like kielbasa, I guess, and all that. So and it's also important because I'm also studying Nazi aesthetics for my honors project, and Poland was obviously colonized by Germany. Like that was very depressing. So, but I'm really excited. Do you have? I assume you probably might come back to the States next year, or it might be longer than that.
I don't know. Right now, I'm planning shows, and my calendar is filling up. I might have a show in Denmark this
Wow.
year, Warsaw.
I
Yay.
know.
Coming onto I'm doing a collaborative project with some Polish women. I'm going to be posting
Sweet.
about that.
Oh my goodness, I love it.
Yes, it's happening. I've been selling work like crazy also.
Yeah, I noticed. And it's just
Yes.
ideally I'd like to sell some of your work here.
Sell it all.
The thing is we got to figure out like how we're going to get your work from Poland to here. We're going to
Not
have
a
to
problem. I just
Really?
shipped work to Kansas, and it got there during a snowstorm. So I have
How are you doing it?
faith.
What's the magic? Like what are you using?
The magic is my husband is a super wrapper packer, so everything gets protected.
Yeah.
And I've tried different shipping companies just to compare them price wise, quality wise, tracking wise. And
Yeah,
I will
what did you
tell you
find out?
this: everything. The prices range anywhere from $50 to $300 per painting, and they have all shitty tracking. Poland believes that if they track up until Warsaw, then they give you tracking, and then the tracking disappears at Warsaw, and then it's somewhere in Kansas. So I've been like calling my clients, but everything got delivered. Everything is safe.
Yeah.
The only thing I'm having issues with now, which will not, well, I actually don't know how it's going to be with the US with shipping multiple pieces. It's because London and Brexit, right? Brexit has been a real pain in the ass.
Yeah, that's one thing I don't like, but we won't go too much into
But I don't know.
politics.
Have you? I will look into it in terms of customs and what it means to ship over to the US.
We
I'm
also are
getting
doing something very experimental, just so you
Yeah.
know. So today was a landmark day. For the first,
Yeah.
I'm actually getting into painting, which I know that sounds weird, but I'm getting fairly innovative. I'm going to drag you a sample from the Office Space Collective, which actually we're actually going to do an installation piece. I'm actually going to pull out something very innovative before I bring it. So we actually have figured how to do painting with UV ink.
Okay.
And this is like something I bought from Dick Blick.
Okay.
Wood panel.
Yeah.
We can't do it. If I were going to do this on canvas, that will require, I'm actually working with some other person. So for the first time, they can actually paint using UV ink on a flat piece, a flat substrate, which is incredible.
Wow.
Which means this would be controversial. We could probably run digital files if you wanted and paint using UV ink on a substrate like this without shipping. That would be controversial because obviously that would break traditional provenance, but it would save shipping costs.
So you can print my paintings
but it
there?
would be but I consider this a form of painting. So I call it UV
Not
painting.
a print, but a UV painting.
Yes, this is actually painted using UV ink on any, it has to be a wood panel. Canvas I work on. Well, I like wood panel because this thing, I mean, apart from, actually, I kind of like even the worn off corners because it makes it very painting. And this is not an inkjet print. And it's a legit method because painters like Jeff Elrod use UV ink. And there's actually a Danish artist named Sergey Jensen. He actually sews fabric and money bags and just runs it. Obviously, he's taking huge risks. They're not going to do that kind of stuff here because those print painting heads are 20,000 like each head. Okay. But it's an incredible revolution in painting. And I'm actually.
How much does it cost you to print something like this? Is it a ton of money to print something like that?
Wood panel cost me $30.
Yeah.
The printing was like $25 this size each. So that's $50 each.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
But I don't know. This is probably way too experimental. But I don't know.
No,
you feel. I mean, the other is that like we're a gallery that looks ahead to the future of how painting and photography. So we figured, hey, this is going to be innovative. We're actually using this to build an installation piece for the Office Space Collective. Okay, cool. So, I mean, the thing is, we're going to try to do it on canvas as well, but that's going to take longer. And wood panels, I actually find wood panels to be part of the medieval tradition anyway, more than this way.
Yes, definitely.
And I feel, I don't know, this might be weird, but you can either ship like maybe a few pieces, like 1 or 2 paintings to save cost, you know, obviously, but maybe we could do a chunk of your show printed on these panels. The only thing is that you could ship us our certificate of authenticity, which that would validate them as pieces from your studio. Okay. I mean, I know that sounds.
I'm intrigued.
It's very controversial, but we think way out of the box because painting. I mean, you went to Columbia. Painting is so like there's so many different ways to paint.
Yeah, of course. No, we just had a big discussion about prints and making prints, and my father's a printmaker, and we were just making prints for the London show, and what is, kind of copies of the paintings, but like riffing on that and all of that. So I'm open to it. I think, expand.
And with your solo show, I want to do a mix of both your printmaking and your paintings. So, I mean, and the prints are obviously easy to, they're flat. So we can handle. Yeah. And the thing is, we probably will have enough in inventory. We could probably do multiple like a show this year and then later on next year too,
Yeah.
which would be awesome because I love your work. I mean, it's just, and it's just, I want to do some more painting shows. It's just painters, not to say, I'm not going to be judgmental because I'm a photography major, but photography tends to be like, quote, easier in quotes, traditional photography than painting. So we actually have some big painting.
Easier in what way? To
Well,
make,
like
to sell, to
like in process. Like photographers usually traditionally photograph, digital file, print. Whereas painting usually is a lot more involved, you know, and it's just, it's also more time consuming. Like for example, Sumire, Sky Chineri, she's one of our Japanese American artists. Her paintings are huge, like, but she's shipping them from Kansas City. But it's taking her a while. Like it's taking her half a year to get 6 paintings done. So
yeah, but I make 50 paintings a year. About.
Yeah, you're like so
because
damn
I'm also,
prolific.
but I also make, I have like, I'll make 4 huge ones and I make smaller ones. And I've just, the galleries I started working with, and because of the pandemic and because people are living everywhere, and for some reason online, people are buying online stuff. And I just, you know, put it in a cardboard box and I ship it. I just ship 3 paintings to a gallery in Spain, no problem. You know, they're about, you know, like a carry-on suitcase. I even was like, oh, I can't ship it to London. They're going to give me a hard time. I get 2 carry-ons. I put 5 paintings each and they're about that size. So it's not been a problem for me, that size.
Yeah.
Obviously, I also make humongous paintings. They're a whole different price range. They're a whole different issue with crating and shipping.
Actually, I learned one thing very quickly. So Nada, looking at what they're showing over at Governor's Island, size, like people are paying a lot for small paintings too. So it's not like size and price don't always correlate, just so you know. And actually nowadays people are valuing small paintings a lot. Like, you know, 24 by 20, like 30 is actually very popular. Like people like, first of all, big used to be like the hip thing, say 10 years ago, but people just don't have big places, or they want more artists. So it's better just to collect some more smaller.
But you know, at my Columbia show, when I had my thesis up, all my small works, they're all sold because people that love them, and it wasn't even a money thing. People have money. It's not even a money thing. If you put five grand for a painting that size, for them, that was not a money thing. But they're like, oh, honey, do you think we can fit that? Oh, darling, I don't think we can fit it. And they would go for, no, I kid you not, they would go for the 20 by 24, 16 by 20, 18 by 24. That was a preferable size for, you know, $1,500, $2,000. But then suddenly, like a 6-foot painting, they're like, yeah, we love it, but if you give us the gist in a smaller, we can hang that in our living room.
Actually,
so I also
that's where
have
I'm
experience with that.
Yeah, but I'm also trying to get your work. Like my goal is to have you, like, once we figure out how to get into art fair, because it's not easy, especially without the established history. But I'd love to get your work because I notice art fairs really gravitate toward painting, and sculpture and installation is like you have to be really established. But painting is so popular. And I think, well, especially looking at Nada, like just this summer, because the Nada house is they have a good indication. I'd say a good like 60% are still painting, you know, for even with all those innovations. And I think those big paintings, they do go, but usually it goes to like museums or private collections, like, you know, the Rubo family. So, I mean, they could have the warehouse. They have like 3 warehouses apart from, like, they can.
But you know, the people that bought large paintings from me, you know, the 6 foot by foot, they all went into warehouses in Chicago or in New York. You know, they were like, you're in an investment, I'm storing yours. So because not everybody you know, I'm also not a huge name yet, so they would rather have their Kenda Wiley on the wall and the Medynska in storage. And in 10 years, hopefully that'll be worth 50 grand, you know.
See,
and not
I work differently
grand.
as a I'm working as a different collector. I don't buy for investment. Like Eventually,
but there
I
are
like,
different ones.
That's
Yeah.
interesting
yeah.
because a lot of people probably do that, waiting
Oh.
and then
And there's two kinds of
display
investors
it.
I've met: the lovers and the
Yeah.
investors. And there's
Yeah.
some people that invest and some people that love, and they want to have something that they love on the wall. And some people really, I've had people be like, okay, who represents you? Where have you been? How much is your price point? What's
Right.
the projected? And they're, but Poland is just starting to invest in art. They're very
Oh,
new. They used to
yeah,
be
very
cars,
much.
and they're very late. They're all like, we're still like bacon and potato people, but they're starting. So it's going through a boom. All right, I know you guys got to go, but tell me two things. Let's do business.
Yes.
When do you think, more or less? So give me a ballpark number, date wise. When do you think you would like to hang it, have it, show it, announce it?
That's up to
something?
you. Like the thing is, we got to figure out the logistics of if we. The thing is, I don't necessarily want to store too many pieces, but I'm thinking if we go to an art fair, I like to keep maybe, I don't know, like 2 paintings on hand, and I don't want big. First of
That's
all,
okay.
I'm finding out that big is actually a disadvantage, and not only that, it's just people here still gravitate towards small. But
That's not a
then
problem.
also,
I can send you 2-3 small paintings that
yeah,
are maximum size 16 by 20.
yeah,
And the
yeah.
next size up is large.
And it also makes it
So-
easier for us to paint. Also, prints are like people are actually liking prints. Like all of a sudden, we had a print yesterday and we didn't even get the labels made, and somebody was already interested. I was like,
Right.
I didn't realize prints were going to be this hot, but apparently, I guess people like the idea of like even an unframed print because they want to do their own frame. So I'm just like, wow, okay, like there's an audience for that. So I'm like, okay, like I don't know what your print selection is. The other idea is we
I
could
haven't
execute.
finished them. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we could also, obviously, as I suggested, we can execute doing the paintings, and then you just send a certificate of authenticity for works where you feel like it's just us. We could actually get them on wood panel, and it would be officially still under your studio, which would be obviously the most controversial, but it's a new and innovative method. I'm actually doing it for my own painting practice anyway. But
Okay.
it's just something. But those are like the ideas. I don't know. The thing is, your show's slated for, was it September?
We talked about October,
October.
October-ish.
Yeah. Actually, I'm leaning towards October.
Okay.
Well, mainly
I was
because
just gonna say I'd rather have fall as well because we have tons going on late
yes.
summer
I'm
that we need to set up.
I have 2 virtual shows coming up. I have 1 virtual
Yeah.
show coming up on Artsy. I have another with somebody else. Then I have, I don't even know, something else.
Yeah.
So like my summer is
Yeah,
till
because we're
July
pretty.
is
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
So I would
Well,
rather
yeah,
go
we-
some-
October's best.
We're boosted
and
up crazy in like August, September, so that's why I was like October, November would be.
Okay, so let's shoot for, you tell me something so I have an idea.
Probably we want to receive the work to give us a chance by, I don't know, with end of July or early August. Be fine for actual work, or is that too early?
Okay. You wanted to have that just on hand for, say again, for what?
So
Just
we
to
could,
have it-
well, first of all, we still need to plan the layout and everything. And then also, it's just good to have on inventory as well. Because we got no pieces like on hand if someone asks, especially. And then but that's up again. And then the other thing is if we did it through the UV printing method, we'll need the files early enough to execute that because I gotta get the materials and all that. So that's one consideration. But if
But
we're
let
gonna
me ask
show,
you this. Let me ask you this. So if, what's the concern of sending you actual pieces? Here's the thing. Because my price point is low, I'm
Yes.
just talking business side. And my work
losing it is
has-
my biggest concern.
What is it?
I say
Losing
the
it?
question, like, has that ever happened where it's damaged or lost in transit? Okay, so it's pretty reliable then. Okay.
I have a good feeling. I'm going to tell you
good.
straight up. I have a good
Okay.
feeling that if you hang an actual piece of mine and it
Yeah.
gets a good
would
crowd,
sell
and at my
better.
price point in the
Yes.
US, I'm selling 4 times as much for the Polish community, and it still sells. So for
That's
a
good.
US person, for $1,500, $1,600 for 18 by 24,
Yeah.
those things do sell.
Okay.
So I do
good.
also have an interest in selling work if
That'd be
there's
great.
visibility and footwork. So
Yeah,
I
and
can plan for October to plan
Yes.
6 pieces, 8 pieces
Yeah.
in
We
that
just need-
size point.
We will need time because Bryce will need to receive the JPEGs and information to allow for, I don't know, a good month. How long does it take you to write a press release? You would
A
say?
month?
Maybe, or to look at stuff.
I
'Cause your
can always
workload's-
supply
It
you with stuff
depends.
as
I
I'm
can
working.
churn. That's true. I can churn out a press release fast if I really need to.
Okay,
like
cool. That's also around the time.
3-4 days.
I need some time to
I can
also,
push it out if I really got to. Like,
oh, I know.
yeah.
Because it's going to be interesting, especially because I'm actually going to be writing your recommendations for grad school, Bryce. So I don't know how many grad schools you're applying to. So we have to lot.
Yes,
time
I don't
for
know how
that.
busy you are, but if I give you, an average of, if you know my work, it will
I
always
do.
stay within a realm of
Okay.
something
Why
similar.
don't we say we receive
if
the
I-
work? We
Yeah.
receive the work by end of August.
Okay.
Maybe that's the better. So let's just set a date of like August 30th, I guess. That would be
Even
good.
beginning of September is okay too.
Give me
Just wait
September
there,
because
yeah.
right now
September.
I
Okay.
because it's
you're
already
really
June,
packed.
July,
Yeah.
August. I have to
Yeah.
make
Okay.
work, and I want to
Okay.
send you
That's
because you
fine.
also want to hang it.
Yeah.
I think till
Um,
the end of September would be okay because then we can.
then you hang
either-
it by end of October. Yes?
Yeah, we can do
Oh,
it by like
that's
end of
actually
October or the first week of like November or something like that.
Yeah. So then the
Let's
show
go
will
for
just go
that.
from November. Okay.
I think
let
that'd
me,
be a lot better.
Okay.
And
Sorry.
it sounds
let
like that'd
me-
be easier for you too because then
I also
your
have a
shows will
ton
be
of
kind
work.
of wrapped up and yeah.
I have to also make work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just wait.
So
Sorry. Let me adjust the schedule. One moment.
so why don't we shoot something like
Yeah.
what you're saying, Bryce? Something like first week of November or Halloween or something like
think that
that.
would be
Okay.
great.
So November to January. Why do we make it slated
Okay.
for that time?
And why
So
don't
that-
I plan to ship stuff to you so you have it a month in advance
Yes. that
at
would
the
be good.
latest for you to write it, to plan it, to photograph it, to
Yep.
whatever, advertise it?
Well, yeah. Well, you'll have
Yeah.
JPEGs on hand, I assume. So
Of
that will
course.
save
And
us.
this will be, you will
Yeah.
always get that. And
Yeah.
as it crystallizes, it might be earlier.
Let me.
Yeah, does that work?
Yes, that's
Yeah.
perfect. Let me readjust this on our schedule for our docket. Okay.
By the way, I
fabulous.
like your woodcuts
Oh
Thank
yeah.
you.
a lot.
I just got the grant from Canada. So one of the proposals was to buy a press because at Columbia, the massive print
Mhm.
shop, and now I was hand printing everything, and it was just
Oh yeah.
not energy, cost, time effective. It would take me like an hour to print one and not well.
Yeah.
So now I'm gonna buy a
Well,
press.
I will probably ask you for
Yeah.
advice because next year I'm applying for MFAs and Columbia's on my list. So
Okay, we can talk strategies.
yeah, I'm just curious whether it's just better to apply to one or two different media.
I will definitely shoot for the printmaking area because it has it just has less traffic. If you go for the painting department, it's the most overrun and everybody wants that. If you go the interdisciplinary route, I think they have now a cross program, or is it
How's the
installation?
photography application? Because this
I don't
photography.
know photography because the head of photography was let go
That's what I
when
gathered.
the Me Too movement was happening, and he liked a specific type of photography, and if you
Yes.
didn't do that, you didn't get in.
I see. Okay. Well, I think
I think because I have a passion and history in photography as
Yeah.
well, and I just
Oh,
thought he
yeah.
liked his street photography, and he shat on everything else. Not that he's a bad photographer.
No, but street photography is not my type of stuff that I do. It's cool.
So I
Well,
think it was
that will help.
harder.
And it's just really interesting too because I think like Polish art is something I really love, like contemporary. I think if I remember this painter, Wilhelm Sensel, I guess is his name, or oh my
Sasnal.
gosh, Cessna.
Sasnal.
Oh, his work's awesome. I love it. So it's
He's
just like,
such a superhero. I mean, like he's
yeah, but it's like,
he's
why
like
don't they
Jeff Koons of Poland, right?
well, why don't they teach more about like Polish contemporary art? Like it's so like I feel like I don't really know. Like I have to teach myself about these histories, which I feel like are very marginalized. Like people know German contemporary art, you know, I mean, people just favorites like Richter. But when it comes to like Eastern Europe contemporary art, like they just don't tell you anything about this. Like I had to sit there and just hunt them myself, and it's just depressing. Like I wish there was better
I'm
education.
Polish and I'm still learning and I don't know much. But
Really?
here,
Oh,
I'm learning because I know more about German, British, you know,
yeah.
I was just gonna
American.
say it's like France, Spain, Germany,
Yeah,
UK. Like
Yeah, but Poland has such a rich tradition, and it's really important because I mean, and you know, Bryce, he obviously has he has a very strong, you know, he took classes for like Dutch and you know Baroque, you know, art, and that's going to be huge because that's going to tie in. But obviously, the contemporary aspects, you know,
That's
we're
my
gonna
thing too.
it's going to be, you know, how do we relate that too? Because these aren't just simply like quote remixing the past. Like there's something very profound that syncretic, you know, connection. But it's just I'll let Bryce have fun with that because he loves
yeah, it's gonna be fun.
he loves
I can
it.
send you also like the stuff that's been written now,
That'd
the
be
press
great.
releases for the
Yeah, that'd be
show.
really good.
Everybody's taking a different stab at it, how they see
Yeah.
it, you know, the remixing of the history, because there's film and theater intertwined in
Oh
my
yeah.
work, and the
Well,
idea of
none of that.
You know what? This may
What?
sound funny, but
Yeah.
I do see some like Rococo kind of look too.
Yes,
Even though that's like but it's like
But
infused differently than that.
yes, it
But
definitely
it
has
has
that
a
element
style
too.
there, which is cool and I like it.
but theater is always important because see the thing is in America theater is I'm gonna be blunt, very lacking. Like people just don't go to theater like in Europe.
Mhm.
And it's interesting because Guy Debord wrote one of my favorite books, Society of the Spectacle,
Mhm.
which I think is incredible. And I love theater, but I also realize there's a political aspect of theater that's never talked about in the US, you know, as much. So I think it's very important to recognize that's why, you know, the theater is always has to tie in with history. It's very much so. And, you know, Shakespeare always was a master at that. We have, you know, great other folks like Schiller, et cetera, and you know, Polish literature as well. So it's just very intricate, and I look forward. I'm very excited about this show. So, well, thank you very much
It's gonna be
again.
good.
Honestly,
It's gonna be good. So I'll be more in touch now as June and July passes me by and I get all this
yes.
stuff out. Then I can
Well, yeah,
meet Bryce
you're
and
very busy. I keep up with your Instagram. You're busy. You still have shows coming up, so you got
yes,
you got to
yes,
still pump those out.
but because I make small pieces and I work on like 8, 9 pieces at the same time, they all
Yes.
kind of mature at the same time. Suddenly it feels like they're all ready and they pop. And I always freak out. And I'm like, I have something for London I don't have. And then today I looked
Yeah,
in the
but
new
that's
studio
good.
and I was like, oh,
Actually,
okay, that's coming together.
but it's good to work on series because then it keeps the visual language and the themes consistent, you know? I
And it
mean,
challenges me also to
yeah,
kind of
Yeah.
like hone in. Like the London show is very different,
One
at
is
least
very
for me, maybe.
specific.
yeah, well, don't
Where
forget,
this,
yeah, I'm reading a book on Picasso, so pretty excited. But you know, that guy was insanely brilliant. Like he probably did like 50 pieces at once, and he still was able to keep track. I mean, most people don't realize Picasso was like, yes, he's a genius, but he also could master so many different versatility of the style.
but
It's
it's
just
also,
incredible.
I believe, I have a different theory because maybe that's why I make a lot of, I believe in
Yes.
making a lot of work and
Yeah.
and then let things fall away. I'm reworking things from 2018 that I now say like, oh, it had a good beginning, but I have to rework it because I've grown as an artist. I know what I want to do. And I believe more is better sometimes.
Yes.
My friends who are like, you know, given birth to a painting for 4 months and they're rethinking it, I'm like, just let it go, move on to the next, because
And
you make it
revisit
worse
it.
than better.
Actually, I also strongly believe in preserving early work, which isn't always mature, because it allows for an arc, a narrative
Yes.
arc of
Well,
your
obviously,
like I don't
yes.
go over and destroy my early work that I did 10 years ago. Like the funny thing is I'll just simply make a new version inspired. Like I go back in my archives and remix a lot. But it's important because you have to acknowledge you don't just have the
Well,
history of
obviously. No,
Yeah.
obviously. I also have like 200 paintings still stuck in the Bronx from like, 10 years
Yeah.
ago. But
Oh, yeah.
yes.
Are they going to
so-
eventually be like are you going to keep them in the Bronx or you're going to
No, I
eventually
just want to fly there, and there is a whole
Yeah.
body of work that should be seen and should be actually shown because it was part of the thesis, and it's still
Mhm.
good, strong work. I can look back at it and say like, and it just was seen
'Cause-
at Columbia for a little bit. So we should.
That's what I
should
meant because I meant
bring
the
it
thing
out.
is I would love to because I would love to do a strong art fair booth. Once we understand how to get into an art fair, which that's not that
Yeah.
easy, it would be nice to
Right.
present that body of work, which I want to
Mhm.
do in one fell swoop, which would be awesome. But
Definitely.
we'll discuss more and
All right, so I feel like it's good that we touched base, that we have a
thank
general
you so
idea,
much.
that
Yeah.
we're work towards that. So I know
Yeah.
in my
Yes.
calendar what's happening.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
all right, you guys are busy. I'm
Thanks.
busy. It's good.
Yeah. Bryce,
Yeah.
I'll see you in about 24 minutes for our other artists that we have a meeting today. So,
Yeah, Julia, just email me when you
oh yeah,
start
I will.
getting things
Yes.
going or whatever.
I can also
'Cause
send
even
you
if they're
some
not-
materials. Yes.
Yeah, that'd
so
be
send-
good. Send me
So
materials and all that.
CC Bryce, his personal email as well as the gallery email. Because
Okay, great.
sometimes that would be because Bryce is going to actually be the one working mostly on that. Obviously, I'll send some of my ideas to Bryce, but really Bryce I'm very excited because Bryce really, wants to write it. And so thank you again, honestly.
We need the writers. We would
Oh,
be
we
nothing
love
without
it.
that. We do.
I love writing.
There's nothing. Yes,
You're
you have
lucky
to
you
have it.
chose. You're lucky you have a bunch of curators that love writing.
I can tell you guys are real good writers. So I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, have a
Well,
good
thanks
day. My day
again.
is ending. Good
Yeah,
seeing
Take
you.
care.
so
Talk
much.
Get
soon.
some rest.
Bye-bye.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.